everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and welcome to your September episode of Out of the Vault. And of course, as always, there is a playlist provided in the box below, so you can take a look at all the other classics that have been reviewed up until this point. Today we are going to look at classic number 34 from 1996, and it is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It is the movie that shows us Paris, France, and the beautiful Cathedral of Notre Dame, but there is in fact a monster that lives in those bell towers that rings the bells of Notre Dame. But the question that we will have to figure out by the time the movie comes to an end is there truly a monster? And who in fact is the monster in this movie? This was a movie that I did actually see in theaters, and I did enjoy it. But when I take a look at it now, after all these years, I am blown away by this movie. I think that this may be the boldest and probably the darkest, more mature Disney classic that Disney has ever given us. This is a movie that involves a lot of things that Disney never really touched upon. The undertones of judging people and possibly racism, to defiling the church, sexual intentions, restraining yourself amongst burning desires. There has never actually been moments in Disney classics where we actually see religion. And it also has a fantastic cast, including Tony Jay as Judge Claude Frollo, Demi Moore as the beautiful gypsy girl Esmeralda, and Kevin Kline, who was definitely the highlight of this movie for me because he's really, really funny, as Phoebus, the captain of the guard. And I absolutely loved this movie. Quasimodo is such a wonderful, heart-filled character, and even though he does look like this horrid character, you don't realize that as you watch him because he is just so positive and so pure of heart. Judge Claude Frollo is definitely one of the scariest Disney villains I've ever seen because of his actions in this movie. And of course, for a little bit of lightheartedness and comedy, we have the three gargoyles that are Quasimodo's friends. One is Hugo, played beautifully by Jason Alexander from Seinfeld. The songs I never really recalled as being memorable, but when I saw them again, I absolutely loved them. They're so wonderful, and they are truly, truly powerful. I also love the animation in this movie, in varieties of ways. One of them is the use of CGI in this movie that they used to generate large crowds in the streets of France. They did a fantastic job with that. It was something that had never been tackled before by Disney, but one of the more interesting animation aspects in this movie is the fact that these characters looked so real. They had the grooves in their faces, the wrinkles under their eyes, the cheekbones, the chin curves. I had never seen more detailed animation, especially when it comes to facial features and body language. They really put a lot of efforts to make these characters real, and I think it was also, in turn, about the fact that this story is, in fact, one of the more real that Disney has ever turned into an animated classic. It's a movie that you can definitely show your children because these really dark moments are things that children may not understand. But there were some parents that did take their kids to see this movie and say, wait a minute, why is my kid watching this? This is not appropriate. But it's brilliant. It is so well done in every aspect, and I really have looked at this movie in a brand new light being an adult. Even though I was 14 when I first saw it, I am just looking at this movie with brand new eyes, and I think that it may be one of the greatest classics that Disney has ever made, next to ones like Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, etc. So if you have never seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, you should see this one, because if you really want to see Disney go out of its comfort zone in the right way, of course, I'm referring to the last classic that I reviewed, which they did completely wrong. Definitely see The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It will amaze you, and I'm going to give this movie 4 out of 4. So I appreciate the fact that you all came to watch today. Please put your comments in the box below, and let's have a discussion. And I'll see you to review the next Disney classic. And actions speak louder than words.